Yo guys, it's your guy the Warman. We're back with another post-fight reaction here. Ping of the week. Guys, before we get into this one, Fabio Wardley, Joseph Parker, what a fight. Yeah man, remember to like, subscribe, all of that. We got daily boxing content dropping every week from Monday to Friday. And then we got the live streams on the weekend. But yeah man, let's get straight into this one. Fabio Wardley, man, what can I say? Just like my prediction, listen, at the end of the day, yeah, we'll get to all the controversy and that. So stay till the end. We're going to even look at that stoppage in it, kind of break it down, look at some footage there. But Parker, man, won by an 11th round TKO. And yeah, the first thing I just want to get into is it was a great fight, man. Shout out to both of the guys, Parker and Wardley. Like deep down, I knew this was going to be a hard fight for Wardley. Yeah, I did. I was rooting for Wardley. But I did expect him to put it out the bag. Like a lot of people, now that's what I want to start with. A lot of people were writing Wardley off, and I think this is one of the big things going into this fight. That there was a certain bias going into the fight just from the casual fans, even the boxing experts, to say, as you know, Parker is the more experienced, more skilled, da 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 da. And going into it, you could even hear the commentary. It was like they were kind of just, you know, assuming the fight was going to go one way. And I sort of want to talk about how the fight went before we get into the stoppage. The first few rounds, I think Parker won the first, and then Wardley come on strong in the second. And I think from then, Wardley did start picking up, and like he had some underrated at times. I'm not saying he was perfect, but at times he had underrated defense. Even off the ropes, rolling a lot of shots. Parker, it's kind of we expected Parker to be a certain way, but the commentary, I'm telling you, I'm sorry, it was very biased towards Parker, and they were trying to. I think when they had it 6 rounds up, people were trying to say it was, Parker was ahead. I generally thought the match you give for Parker was a free, and 3 rounds apiece. So going into this, there was a certain bias just from, the boxing individuals, punditry, all of that. The boxing people just assumed Parker to do something a certain way. And when Wardley, Wardley was fighting against it, I'm telling you, because the way people were seeing the fight, I don't know. I would implore everyone to go back and watch it again. But yeah, I generally had Wardley up 5 rounds 6, 4 rounds to 2. And yeah, the commentary was, I'm sorry, it was a bit biased towards Parker. No, I'm not saying Parker wasn't landing his shots and doing well, but Wardley had his unorthodox style. It was giving Parker problems, you know what I mean? And he had Parker hurt a few times there. Listen, and the difference is when Parker did land some good shots as well. And Wardley sometimes his defense is reckless. I'd say Wardley needs to work on the clinch game inside. Sometimes when he clinches, he's kind of just there for someone to kind of smother him. But we know Wardley has the power. This is why I was very confident in Wardley. Even watching the fight, I'm thinking Wardley can get this guy. He can get him, because with Parker, he's never known to be a great, a heavy-handed fighter. A great finisher like that. Wardley is the one who's gonna, pull it out of the bag and finish him. And I think all the power punches, or all the times where Wardley would hurt Parker, it would be a more significant. It would be more significant than when Parker would hurt him. It's like, and a few times this happened. I think once, even in the 10th, and even before the stoppage. I think in the 10th round, Parker, he landed a few good shots on Wardley, and Wardley kind of said, F it, like, I'm kind of tired right now. Yeah, you're going to land some shots. He kind of said, what? And just kind of walked through him and started, swinging his duffs. And he was, listen, I was giving Wardley a lot of these rounds, even towards the end there. So, listen, maybe I'm biased. Leave in the comment what you think. But Wardley defo, he's a dog, man. So is Parker, though. Shout out to Parker. Like, Parker, I never seen him in no boring fight. And honestly, I can honestly say I'm surprised Parker even fought the way he did. I thought he would come with a different game plan, but he came in heavy, and he came in, clearly trying to damage Wardley, and which is, it's a valiant effort. You got to commend the guy, man, because they gave us a great fight that night because of that. Do you know what I mean? And yeah, one of my training mates did say something. Shout out Anwar as well. He said Hooney is a better pure boxer than Parker. So that's another thing. Like, people expected, because they just saw Wardley, they just think Wardley, white collar, and Hooney done that to him for how many rounds before he got caught. They think, yeah, Parker's more pedigree, he's just going to come in and do something. So everyone was assuming something, but it's like they weren't actually watching the fight. Wardley was not, at one point, they're trying to say Wardley was getting outboxed. I would not call that fight Wardley getting outboxed at all, because he was not getting outboxed. That was a back and forth fight with both fighters having good defensive spells here and there. And then Wardley, you know what I mean? He just had the power difference, you know what I mean? He had the equalizer. But one thing as well, shout out Hashman Boxing, pointed it out as well. We did do a little post-fight breakdown, but that video kind of glitched out. But yeah, the uppercut from Wardley, man, that cheeky uppercut on the inside is always, I think it hurt. It set up Parker being hurt more than once. Do you know what I mean? And that was definitely telling. I think it was in round 2 when Parker spat out his gum shield as well. That was a clear sign of him being hurt, you know what I mean? But veteran tactics, you can't really say nothing about that at the end of the day. But Wardley, defo was fighting, you know what I mean? He was fighting with conviction. And he had a little game plan there. Had some underrated defense and offense. Like, people need to, unorthodox style, whatever you call it, you can't just call a man a white collar boxer anymore, man. And I think people, you know, they had that Hooney thing in their head to think, oh yeah, you can outbox Wardley today, he's just unorthodox. They're calling the UK Wilder. To be honest, I think he's more fluid than Wilder, man. He's not as stiff as Wilder. Like, Wilder's a bit kind of one trick pony, but you know what I mean? Wardley's got a little ball cat already, he's guessing me, but yeah. Yeah, man, he had Parker hurt multiple times. But yeah, let's get to the stoppage anyway, guys. But that was just my take on the fight. Overall, shout out Parker though. But yeah, so 11th round, he gets rocked. There's quite a few unanswered punches. Do I think the stoppage was premature? You know what? Live, I was just so happy that you could check the live reaction. I was just so happy. I was just cheering. I didn't care. When I watched it back, I said, oh yeah, that is a bit, I do feel for Parker there. But at the same time, that's not the worst stoppage I've seen. Like, if you watch the stoppage back and see how many punches, and remember, bear in mind, this is late in the fight and this is Wardley we're talking about. And listen, when someone's really felt hard done by, there's a few things I'd say. So first of all, Wardley's a dangerous puncher, and people say he's going to punch himself out. I generally think if that fight carried on, Wardley would have won the 12th as well, just from damage. But, you know, and what can you say? What can you say? Another thing is, Parker, listen, he's a stand-up guy, but he didn't protest that stoppage as much as he could. Yeah, he kind of pushed the ref, said what? But then after that, he was kind of just like, you know what? Because he kind of knew, innit? He knew himself, this guy's hurt me multiple times in this fight. And he was dangerous. Like, yeah, I tried to step on it. I tried to put it on him. But yeah, it wasn't as easy. It wasn't as easy as it was making it out to be. But yeah, man, let's get into some of this. Let's show some footage of, you know, how the stoppage came about. But, you know, shout out to both fighters for giving us another legendary fight there. Okay, so let me just change my screen. But yeah, guys, in the comments as well, I want you to let me know what you thought of that one. You know, am I completely wrong here? Did I get this wrong? But yeah, this is another angle of yeah, this is just by around 11. Let me turn this down. But yeah, look at this. He's that uppercut I was talking about, man. Dirty. He landed that a few times in the fight. Very, very lovely setup there. I'm sorry, Wardley. If you got Wardley on you like this, you don't want to be there, man. Let's just be real. All right. So I think this is, yeah, hopefully the copyright don't come for this, but yeah, I mean, quite a few unanswered punches here. It's not as, this isn't as bad as you would think, you know, because he's not throwing back for a while, and people are talking about, you know, Howard Foster. We know about Howard Foster in it with the Roch Groves. He's a bit of a dodgy ref, I suppose, but you know what? You know what? That's why I feel for Parker, because them shots, he started rolling a few of them as well. But let's not act like they weren't doing any damage. That Wardley is a destructive puncher, and at the end of the day, the ref is the one in there, innit? I'm telling you, he's the one in there. So he can see a bit better than us, so he can see if a guy is, do you know what I mean? you can see when a guy is kind of looking for help. Oh, that uppercut was actually quite bad. Tries to throw back there, but after that, yeah, that was a clean shot there. Uppercut, even the left hook was kind of clean. Like Parker pushed him off. Like Parker did seem a bit annoyed, but he didn't seem as, you know, people were raging. I'm telling you, man, he wasn't as. He wasn't as. He wouldn't protest it as much as you'd think. Sorry, that's what I'm trying to say. But yeah, man, and you know, this is what I mean about Parker. He's a stand-up guy, but also he kind of knows deep down that I shouldn't have been in that position. But let's see what he had to say as well. Parker here.
Didn't catch it, I feel too. How are you feeling, mate?
It's fine. No, it seems like box well and it'd be important. I still felt fine after the fight was stopped, so not the one in charge of letting if I go on or something else, but hey, it's lost.
Was Fabio better or tougher than what you expected or not?
Tougher, yeah, tougher than what I expected, and like I gave credit to him for performance he put on. Like, not like it was going back and forth. I had some moments, he had some moments. I felt like I was controlling the fight, but again, he got a big punch. And I said,
And I did ask you in there that it was always said it was a fight that you did need to take, but you took it because you wanted to fight. No regrets.
There's no regrets. If there's another fight coming soon, I'll have to take a new fight. I just want to continue fighting. I still feel like I got a lot to give. Obviously, it didn't go my way tonight, but what can I do? Accept it, move on, and go get a burger now. I'm freaking hungry.
Well, listen, I appreciate your time. It was a great fight. And just the last one about stoppage. No problems about that stoppage.
I was fine to carry on. But I guess, again, I'm not the one in charge of letting the fight go on or stopping it. So, what can I do? Accept it, move on. Otherwise, there's no point in crying about it. It's not going to change anything. It's still rematch. Not till again.
Yeah, guys. So yeah, I'll stop the video there. But you see, Parker, stand-up guy, man. I can't lie. That's how you have to take things like that happen. At the end of the day, he knows how he felt, I suppose, and the ref had a job to do. Probably a bit premature. I do feel for him. I feel like maybe let him get dropped. But you know, Parker. Some people, you never know. Though. Some people sometimes they're too tough for their own good. Like them shots he was taking. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people in the heavyweight division can't even take them shots. So shout out to Parker, man. But yeah, it's good mentality. I do want to see him back. I don't think his stock has dropped at all. You know what I mean? Legend. Always giving us good fights in the heavyweight division, man. But again, what you said about Wardley, man, do not underestimate that guy. I keep telling you about Wardley. The duffs, they're serious. He's got serious power in the man, and you know what I mean? He doesn't just wing it in like with no intelligence or no skill. He's got a little method to the madness there. But guys, yeah, I want to see your comments. What do you think about that stoppage as well? Also, now we got Fabio talking about, you know, what do you want to see next? Parker mentioned a rematch there. I wouldn't mind seeing a rematch, honestly. And I wouldn't be surprised if Wardley got him out of there in a rematch. Honestly, every fight now, Wardley is just improving. And I think we need to stop talking about the white collar stuff now, because ain't no white collar fighters just going to come and do what Wardley's doing. Do you know what I mean? It's a little post-fight press conference.
Yeah, it's a wild one when you piece it all together like that. But look, I'm the next one up. I'm the next one at it. I've got big, broad shoulders, so that's fine by me. I'll carry the pressure. There's no problem. But I'm something different. I think we've grown enough of the kind of, not to say any of those guys are similar or the normal, usual, whichever else, but they all come from similar backgrounds, similar ways of doing things, and I come from a different school or a non-school, however you want to call it. So look, we've thrown all the kind of the usual guys at him, our top dogs and whatever. So yeah, look, let me have a crack with something different, see where we end up.
100%. Yeah, I think that's him alluding to Usyk. So that could be maybe one of the last things we talk about in the video, guys. What do you want to see next? Do you want to see a rematch with him and Parker because of that stoppage, or you know, do you want to see do you want to throw him in there with Usyk? Does Wardley have a point there? You know, all these other guys, you know, the textbooks down the line, textbook fighters. Do you know what I mean? Not really unorthodox, kind of coming straight at Usyk. Usyk's probably seen all of that before. And hey, let's be real. So one of the hardest fights Usyk's had is with Chisora because he's just a bit of a maniac. That Chisora is not orthodox. He just comes in and tries to bully man. So You never know, like Wardley, maybe he's got a chance. I can't lie, I'm rooting for Wardley. I always do I don't care. Wardley fights. I hate what people are saying about the maybe pedigree, technique, and stuff, experience, amateur background, all of that. I hear it, but he keeps kind of proving people wrong. And hey, maybe he can do something to Usyk. I'll definitely be rooting for him, but I can't lie. That's not one I wouldn't be confident. Like, in this fight, I was still a bit like, oh, Parker's got a chin, man. Hopefully he can get rid of him. Da, 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 da. With Usyk, I can't even lie, man. That's a big ask. That's a big ask, because Usyk would not. Usyk can fight to a game plan where he'll get rocked once and change the game plan. Like, he's an elite fighter. I think Parker came with a one. You know what? Parker, maybe if he tried to be too defensive, he'll get caught anyway. Maybe he came with the right game plan and he tried to come in big, but just couldn't do it. But with Usyk, I feel like Usyk's got multiple ways to beat Wardley, so it'll be a very tough loss. But I'll be rooting for him. But guys, yeah, let me know in the comments, man. What do you want to see next from Wardley? Is he a new breath of fresh air to the heavyweight division, or is it just kind of a gimmick fight to give Usyk another fight? But yeah, guys, I want to know what you think. Again, thanks for watching and all of that. Remember, we've got the daily boxing content coming out. Maybe do some more fight breakdowns, boxing content, all of that. Vlogs, amateur fight vlogs, might go to see, some of the people in my gym, amateurs fighting, vlog that experience, vlogging some professional, professional process, turning over different sparring vlogs, all of that, guys. The content keeping coming every day. But yeah, make sure you're liking, subscribing, and all of that. But peace out, guys. Peace.